So now, let's do this. Let's get rid of all this stuff in my UI. I mean, it looks cool. It was helpful the first pass, but now it's time to really rethink this through. So when this app is running, truly running, I'm going to have to first initialize it and create this custom program account, and then we're good to go. Wallets will connect. We're going to fetch token accounts from the existing wallet. That will be nice, but until then, because we're on local host, and I'm doing this on a local Solana validator, I need to still do the manual minting, creating tokens, minting supply, and associated token accounts and all that. So still have to do these steps before we can really start initializing escrows. So let's do this. I'm going to go, I have mint token Y, transfer to buyer token Y, associated token. Yeah. So how I've been doing this so far is kind of keeping track of the state of the escrow. I store key information in the escrow account, the on-chain account. However, I don't store everything. And so that's where I have, up to now, have worked with some stores to do that. Escrow, and I've got a few stores, like a user store, a buyer store, seller store, token store, escrow store. Like, I'm using stores to do these, to keep track of this stuff, but they're getting a little clunky, and so I think I'm gonna look at my token store, and in here I have a token mint store, so it's just a generic mint object. Okay. And here I've been creating multiple, right now, just my generic X mint and my Y token, and keeping track of the addresses and their mint details, their mint info. And so there is a type mint. And again, I'm just using this custom, adding my own little custom type. So when I initialize this writable, I can pass it a custom token mint store object type. And yeah, it kind of just helps with working with it. So all of these token stores look essentially the same. And then I have another store which is for collecting the tokens inside of the connected wallet. So let us, as much as I enjoy learning about the steps, I'm using daisyUI, which is just a kind of a high-end or higher level abstraction of Tailwind. It's got a bunch of nice utility classes. So daisyUI. This is, I am not a CSS guy at all, but yeah, obviously there's so much to learn in this space, but this has been quite helpful. It's kind of easy to pick up, and so using daisyUI, come over here, and they just have a lot of like nice out of the box styling that I can just use. So I really enjoyed using it some of its custom utility classes, which is basically Tailwind. It is Tailwind under the seams. But that said, I have quite a lot here. So steps for myself really is like I need to, I'm going to redo this. So I need to create a custom program. This is just for my sanity, I need to oh, hang on, I could go back, undo. I could actually just add another step, because that's all I've done is create custom program. Yeah, and here it highlights once it's completed. So okay, so this is checking, you know, is there a custom program account there? So I'm going to change this up. Oops. Change inside brackets. And now we're looking at the custom program store.pda not equal null. Like, if that is the case, it means we've got a custom program. Or I could actually, if I really want to make sure I've got data, I've got this account data. As long as that is there, then we're good. Okay, and we're seeing this this over here. So, and let's see what else we got. Create tokens. Get the buyer. Create ATAs. Mint tokens, and then like that's the setup. Yeah, that's the setup. Like before we can do any of this. So I'm going to get rid of I think this is, yeah, mint tokens, and then we have this button, create escrow. Yeah, I'm going to actually get rid of that. Okay. We don't need it. And as a step, it's I'm using the escrow store, which we'll get to eventually, storing that. So I'm just kind of getting rid of some stuff. Yeah, don't need that. Mint tokens. We really have just a few key steps. So if I can expand this, let me get rid of some of this. So it should look something like a little cleaner. Yeah, so I'm gonna change the buttons and stuff. Again, these are just steps for myself to ensure that I, you know, like the first thing is first is like create custom program. It will show that it's completed visually, that it's good to go. Same with the tokens. Right now I'm creating 2 tokens. Yeah. And that should be it. So this is a daisyUI form control. Let me bring this over here. This is another form control. This is just copied from their daisyUI, and here what we're going to do is a handle create custom program account and create custom program. Change the label on that. Create custom program. Yep. Creating token X and token Y. Create the ATAs and then mint. So steps 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I need to do before I can do anything else. And so 41, I'm going to delete what I originally had. Up here. Custom program PDA exists else. Here we go. That was just my initial test, so get rid of that. And so now we have our Xmint store. I'll still use that. It's handy. Keeps track of the YMAN. So once those both have addresses and they've been created, so then that will show that it's been done. And then using Svelte and like this conditional kind of, you can use this class, you can add another class and call it step accent. So really it's like step accent. If I go ahead and save that, it will show oh, I have this condition right here. But if I got rid of this, for example, if I do that, then it just shows like I've added it, you know, so this little visual cue. But I'm gonna keep that and remove. That's just for showing. But that's kind of a nice thing about Svelte. Other frameworks do this as well, of course, but I've kind of found Svelte to be pretty intuitive. So that's what we have to do. We have, we're creating a custom program, we're creating the tokens, we're creating the associated token accounts, and we're minting the tokens. I feel like that's good to go. I don't think I need any of these buttons like get seller X, get seller Y. I need these buttons, but I don't need, where is my, get seller. Get seller token X balance. What is this all in? This is a get buyer Y. Yeah, it's these. I don't need these right now. I don't need these buttons. I'm gonna get rid of some of this stuff. So, form control. Have some divs here. See if that breaks anything. So far so good. Getting rid of some buttons. Yeah, okay, so originally I had some token details. Don't think I really need to display all that, to be honest. Not anymore. So let's see if that breaks something. Nope, so far so good. Same goes with, so it's basically like, you know, get the X mint. You know, after we mint them and stuff, it's supposed to, you know, display all these things. I don't need it. Don't need it. Yeah. So, yeah, okay. Maybe I have a closing div that I've missed. Yeah, this to be the case. And then a nice little divider. You can't, maybe you can see this subtle divider line across. Yeah, so these functions should just do what they need to do. I don't really need to display anything. I'm tracking that stuff in stores for the most part. Now, one thing I do need to clarify, because these tokens, XY tokens that I'm just creating out of thin air. I'm creating the associated token accounts for each of the wallets. Again, right now the wallets are hard coded to my development wallets, for my Phantom and my Soulflare wallets. So that's enough for now. I'm trying to get back to like a working, I want to be able to do all this and actually initialize escrows again. So what I have here, what I was doing is like this initialize, this part right here is actually the UI. So this swap UI that I'm trying to mimic. And when I say mimic, like I'm thinking about like when you go to any, even if I go to Anchor, like the wallet, if you ever want to do kind of like a swap, So like whenever you go to Anchor, you know, just in your extension or any website, you kind of have this like nice little UI. It's like the amount that you have, reads of your different tokens. You have some drop down tokens that are available, and you're trying to exchange it for what. It has more details around like exchange, like how much is worth and stuff. I'm not trying to do that. But I do think that's kind of what I'm kind of aiming for, is like eventually you have a chance of drop down, which represents the tokens that are available in the connected wallet, and then allows them to kind of enter in the details and initialize the escrow. That's what I'm aiming for. So to do that, I think eventually it would be nice to display like all the details about the escrow itself. That's what I have here as this initialized. Now there's some stuff that needs to really update. So I don't even need this anymore, this whole thing, because I want to be able to initialize it and then show the details of the escrow. That's really what I'm trying to do. So I think we can get rid of a lot of this stuff. Yeah, so here, this else part, I've got this big if block using for Svelte. Basically, what I'm doing is, if the escrow isn't initialized, then we display all these other things kind of showing. But that was before I started adding this swap UI. So I'm going to actually get rid of this stuff. Because I'm only going to basically use this to kind of showcase the actual escrow. Once it's been initialized, this is just some of the details of it. Okay, and I can add more and such, but that's kind of what I'm aiming for. And again, I'm just trying to simplify the look and feel of this. Now, what my hope is right now, this is all on my index route. Okay, so the plan is to eventually take, like this would be like a landing page for the escrow while it connects, and they have a chance to like initialize, and they do like a simple little interface, and they hit initialize escrow, and then it's done. What could happen here is I display a list of all the individual escrows that have been created. When they click onto it, then it would have a whole new route using SvelteKit router, where the route points to the PDA of the escrow account. So then you have more details can be displayed on each of the routes. Anyway, I think that would be kind of cool. Plus, I'd learn a lot along the way. I've already done that with my polls app, and that seemed to be pretty cool. Good practice, at least. So that's really what I'm aiming to do. So let's go ahead, and object is possibly null. Yeah, that's the problem. So basically I could do like just one big if. I don't know what this points to. Reset all stores. Oh, I do have a button that I had for reset. But yeah, I think what we could do is maybe I could put a big if right here. So like if escrow store escrow not null, then we have like this stuff. Something like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Moving along. Yeah. So we'll first initialize and, fetch, do all these things, fetch the tokens stuff, initialize the escrow, and then we display. Yeah. So next, I need to continue to clean up this UI. This reset button is for my stores. There's a big button I added on the bottom. May still use it, but yeah, baby steps. Okay, so let's I've restarted my local validator, and I should be able to let's turn this to the console. Should be able to create this custom program and initialize it. And failed. Okay, yeah, I restarted the validator and I don't have any money in my connected wallet. So now I've got money, and now I can go back to the escrow and do the create and initialize that. And now everything is good, and our little accent class pops up, and we have this nice little visual. Cool. Custom program is there. So that should be helpful, because really I only have to create this custom program once, and that account is now live, and I've got the data here in this custom program store object. So yeah, looking pretty good. Now let's keep on trimming out some stuff. So one of the things I'm going to have to address is I need to be able to create tokens and mint tokens, and this whole like step where I'm creating tokens, creating the associated token accounts, and minting supply to my dev wallets. I've got 3 separate little clicks. I'm wondering if I could simplify all of that into just a little bit more like all in one, just one button, just do it all. Actually, I probably could do all that in the layout component, or at least on mount with this. But let's see. So these methods, these functions that I've created in the past, I'm calling them seller X, seller buyer Y. Yeah, I need to add them to how do I want to store this? Because currently my seller store, so let me open up that. So currently the seller store, it looks like this. Looks like a train wreck. So again, it's a Svelte store. It's got some, this one's not, it's a custom deal. So I'm writing a type, and it's got all this stuff. And I have the creating, so I'm using a custom store again, but it is getting cumbersome. And the problem is that like currently, I feel like I can almost get rid of the seller buyer like naming, and instead just call like user store or something like that, where because again, ideally when a wallet connects, it's the active user, and then it's going to fetch the tokens available in their wallet, and they're going to have the option to either initialize an escrow or accept an already initialized escrow, basically, engage in the exchange, or create their own. So I kind of feel like, they're going to have like the user, when they log in, they're not always going to be the seller. You know, like if I log in and I have this stuff, like when they initialize the escrow, then yeah, they are the ones they're like the seller. They're the initiator. However, as soon as they initialize an escrow, they may just after that's initialized, they may go find an existing escrow that was initialized by another wallet and click on it and participate in the exchange of that. In that case, then they would be the buyer. So they are buying, so it would be it could be a little tricky. You just don't know, like if it's a seller or a buyer until it depends on the action that they're doing. So if they are initializing escrow, then they're the seller. If they are accepting an escrow, then they are the buyer. Did I say that right? Yeah. So if they initialize, they are the seller. If they accept, then they are the buyer. And if they cancel an escrow, then that means that they were the original person, the original wallet that initiated it. So they, AKA the seller. So that's kind of how I'm naming it. But right now I'm kind of keeping track of like all this, two separate stores, like a seller store and a buyer store. And honestly, they're the exact same shape, exact same fields. We do need to mint to them. But they're going to be in their wallets anyway. So I don't know if I need to keep track of. Yeah, I'm not sure if I need to really keep track of all this crap in here because it's getting unwieldy. And like from a seller's point of view, these out token details, that's what the seller is going to pay into the escrow to initialize it. And the in token details is what the seller is expecting back. Yeah. X, Y token, Z token, W token, whatever token, like that's just for giving my wallets something to work with. So I'm not necessarily sure I have to keeping track of all of that. I feel like I can just mint some tokens and create create tokens, create the ATAs for my wallets, and mint some supply to those wallets, and now I'm good. I don't need to store that perhaps inside the seller or buyer. It's really just a user because the connected wallet, we fetch the tokens. Okay, I'm just talking this out loud, but when they connect, we have the where could I put that? Let's see. So when they connect, let's go over here. It's going to be an escrow layout. So when they connect, I'm using this get parsed tokens, and I update the wallet account store. Yeah. But this is really like, no, this is the connected users wallet tokens, SPL tokens. I mean, that's what this is. And then when the workspace is ready, the anchor stuff is ready, so the workspace is ready and the wallet is ready, then and only then do I do a little, then I actually go out and fetch these and update the UI, yeah, and the state. So, like, that's what I'm doing. I feel like I could kind of get rid of this. Now, Xmint store, I could keep track of that. I currently have token stores that keep track of each token that I create. which is fine. Let's see. You have a pub key, mint size, token program, create initialize mint instruction. So this is the actual instruction to add to a transaction. Yeah, this is just going through the routine. And that's that. Creating the token. Here is, this is just a helper. Create token X and Y. Where I make sure that my connected wallet has enough money. So I airdrop some SOL, and then I perform the two creates. Then I get the get X mint account. I don't know if I need that right now. Okay. It doesn't hurt. It's basically get mint account, and basically set its store with whatever's returned. So this is just, could consider refactoring that, but really at the end of the day, they just are setting individual Svelte stores for each token. Here we're getting the token account balances. Yeah, I don't see this stuff. I don't think I need anymore. Like getting seller acts or all this stuff. I don't think I don't believe I need that stuff. And the reason why I say that is back to my point is that this wallet token store, each object inside of it is keeping track of, so the pub key, this is the associated token account address for that, inside that wallet for that particular mint. And then the account itself, this is parsed account data, so this has all the details about like how much they have, UI amounts, and how many decimals does that token have, et cetera, or does that mint have. So like this store is pretty handy, and I perform that on layout. So I like this whole get token account. I'm not sure if that's like these whole get account balances, get token account balances. Like that's a lot of redundant stuff, and really it's just a different token. So I feel like I could, if even needed, I don't even know if I need these. I mean, here what I'm doing is I'm setting buyer store tokens and seller store tokens and all that stuff. But like I said, it's kind of hard. So let me just see. Like, I don't know if I'm going to need those. Those may completely get reworked. I do need, first things first, I do need to create some tokens. Now this is going through the process of creating tokens. In the past, I named them seller X, you know, doing things like that, but that's changed. Create seller. I mean, all this stuff is just, all this stuff is like pre-code. Like this is like all the code that I need just to like for development purposes. And here I'm setting create associated token account instruction. Here I am setting like, okay, the payer is going to be the connected wallet, the current wallet, which is just getting that from the wallet store, the ATA, which really is just that's what we're doing here. So I don't have to use seller store. The payer is going to be the wallet, and the mint, I need the mint address. Okay. Okay, so when I create the mint, I am storing its address in its own store. That's handy. But I feel like I could change these to just be what I declared like locally and stop setting all these stores. Wallet store. Oh yeah, I was using form state as an object. It got a little unwieldy. I may partially using it. Like I said, I got lots of stuff to do to update it. Yeah, I almost feel like this whole seller buyer naming, at least by stores, is just not necessary. Not necessary. Crap. So, and then I do the exact same thing for the seller Y, and then the buyer X and the buyer Y. Yeah, like it's kind of I do need wallets. I need 2 wallets at the beginning. I need to act as my seller and buyer, but I've hard coded those addresses for now. So I have that. So I should be able to, still get to perform this transaction where I have the payer and then to create these whole yeah. So I feel like I could get rid of all of the a lot of this like redundant buyer and seller code, where I feel like a lot of it could be pushed to the maybe like a more consistent general purpose user store instead, and hard code some of this stuff to my wallets, and don't even worry about the form state. And then to implement that, I created this little helper that just kind of wraps all of that together. So yeah, I've got this this function just kind of wraps all of that and does it for me, which is fine. I still need tokens in these wallets, and I need supply in each of these for each of these. And the destination. Okay, so crap. So here's where there's kind of a problem. So if I'm trying to mint and transfer to specific associated token accounts, then I do need to I need to keep track of this. I do need to keep track of these for now. Like seller, store, X token, associated account, the amount that I do, which 3 exponential A. Basically, it gives us the equivalent of 3 whole tokens of this particular mint. This part right here, knowing which associated token address to mint to for the destination. I do need to kind of keep track of that. Because I'm doing the same thing for the buyer. I do the same thing for the buyer. And I need to know where the heck, if I don't have a buyer store, where would I be storing this Y token address? And then here I've got just all of them minting and then getting their balances after all that. So that's the one initial hitch that I can think of, is I need to just mint. I can't like hard code these associated token accounts, because every time that I reset the validator, these token accounts are going to be different. Because every time I rerun the validator, I'm rerunning my app, my local, when I do like a whole new like key pair for each of these tokens, X and Y mint, this key pair generate, like this stuff right here. I guess I could ignore the stores, and I could do something like just a local variable. I could do that. I'm just trying to think through this. So like if it's a local variable, I've got a wallet that initializes and does all this like initial token creation. As soon as I disconnect that wallet and reconnect with a new wallet, or even the same, I feel like I'm going to lose the state of those local variables. So then I won't have access to some of those account details. Oh, man, see? May just be poor design that I've like kind of walked myself into this weird setup. So I could consider like out token, in token. That's going to be used regardless of the user, if they're initializing. It's just going to depend on whether or not they are initializing an escrow or accepting an escrow. So that's the only thing. And these values will change depending on which part of the app they're interacting with. Man. Yeah. They're not even like sellers and buyers, and I'm just, yeah. How the hell do I get through this freaking initial part? My goal was to come in here and kind of clean some of this crap up, but right now I'm getting at a little bit of a loss because if I took that, hang on, if I take this whole thing, I'm just curious, like what would, if I come over here, and let's actually like create, I actually already started, had some sort of idea here initially, it looks like, we're just a user store wallet. So now it's just more the user, and the user, it's going to change depending on which button they're clicking, essentially, on the front end. If they're initializing Escrow and playing around with drop downs and token selections, then they're going to be it's going to be treated as the seller. But they both will have out and in tokens. So let me see if I can get rid of some of this. What if I just did, just grab all this out in token stuff, and yeah, and I have token balances. I have the raw amount. I compute the raw amount based on the token, on the mint decimals value, and same with the versus just regular amount, which is like what we're used to, like in the user interface. Like I have 1.2 Bitcoin or something like that. You know, big numbers, type big, BN cannot or doesn't support decimal values. So computing the raw amount is necessary. Now create user store. Let's see, we have a wallet, and I will leave this one actually null. And my other seller, because I'm trying to distinguish for the setup, I hard coded it to be, you know, the one wallet versus the other, but here it would be all null. Okay, and these I can what is it, 13 up, yank. What happened? Oh, oh, yeah. This is the actual. Should have done this line. That's better. Okay. So now, I'm just, I have no idea. This may just not be the right setup, but I'm going to keep these all nulls. So if I have just like a user store, what I could do actually, hang on. You know, I've got this whole like, I have this separate wallet store, but it ultimately, it's 100% connected to the connected wallet. Yeah. So I wonder if rather than, you know, here I am resetting all this, which is fine. This is a massive object, but I wonder if I got, if I added my, my helper, so escrow that I created up here. That would be a store. I don't know if I need, just trying to think, like, should I keep a separate store or should I add like a property on this object that keeps track of, well, all of the user's token accounts. And maybe a little tidier. I guess it still could just be its own token store, because it's going to be a unique object like this. Trying to think, could I do something like, let's just leave it as is for now until I really, again, like I have this habit of trying to overthinking it and trying to like make it optimal and whatever, and I don't even know if this is the right approach to even create a user store like this, you know. But the idea is, I think if it could work, I think it could be helpful, because no matter what side of the exchange they are on, they're going to have an out token, a credit, and a debit, you know, token. So debit token, credit token. I could rename it, but I'm not going to. Out in. So we'll leave it at that. And here I've got this helper, which will still fetch and update this. So between the user store and the wallet token account store, I should be able to have what I need. That could work. Okay. So I'll save that. Now, I still need, just for initialization, not initialization, that's the wrong word, just to, for development testing, I still need to mint these freaking tokens, X and Y tokens, and I need to create the associated token accounts and all that. So what I believe I'm going to do is try to, I'll keep the seller store and the buyer store for now till I can think of something better. But they're really just going to be used for initialization. And I could even rename all of it and just call it like initialize, you know, like development store. Like it's just kind of it's a helper, but it is what it is. So minting all the tokens. So I am going to, where I can, I'm going to use other values instead. So let's see. Start from the top. This is all my form data for the swap UI. Handle, chain, token select and inputting the token amounts and the exchange token mint address, calculating conversions, like a lot of this stuff is there. So create token X. This is going to work from the wallet store. So whatever wallet's there, we create it. It's fine. It's fine. Now, xmint pub key. These are token generated key pairs that I did up top. I feel like that is okay. Key pair, transaction, signature, all this stuff seems to be okay. Xmint account data, get to use the handy get mint. And here we set the store. Sounds good. I'm going to leave that alone. The Xmint works. The same thing goes for the Y, creating the Y token. I feel like that is okay. Signature, key pair. That seems correct. We get the data, then we update the store. Yeah. Now, creating these tokens. Done and done. Make sure that we have some SOL in the connected wallet, so that they can pay for those transactions to create. Okay, now got that. Now, get YMint account data. Yeah, we'll still reference the YMint store, and we do all that. And sure, I guess we'll do it. Seems to work. Now seller X token account balance, we're still going to use the buyer, seller. Boy, oh boy. Again, my wallet token store, eventually when I connect, it's going to have each token account in the wallet along with all its data, including the amounts and stuff. So I'm not going to continue refreshing my memory as like where the hell I'm using this stuff. Seller store. Aha. This out token balance, I'm going to get rid of this stuff like seller and buyer out. I'm getting rid of this because I'm going to try to simplify this. I could do this. I could say get, I mean, honestly, it's just like a generic get token account balance. And literally, what are we doing? We are, what do we need? We need the what do we need? We need the, maybe we need the connection. And we need, ATA, or like, which is a pub key, right? What else do we need? could say, like if I don't know, to make it really flexible, I could then even do like store, you know, and then I reference the which store, but like, I mean, that's, I don't have to, I just do, what if I just did that and I don't do any, I just like a very basic, I say anchor, Web3 connection as a type. That should work. I mean, this could be it. So it's just get token account balance, which is literally using you guessed it, token account balance. And then in here, rather than see. So it takes a connection. Takes a connection and the address of the token. Say, and then could do a try catch, and what we try is something like this, where we await the connection and we pass in key, right? I feel like that, I mean, this is just kind of like a more general purpose. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like, it's going to, say this returns a number? Does it complain? Promise number. Oh yeah, it's an async function. Mm-hmm. Yeah. RPC response and context, okay. Do I really need to do any of this, Galen? Am I like, do I really need to do any of this? I mean, I feel like it's I feel like we're reinventing the wheel here. We already have a perfectly good yeah, I'm not sure. So it's more of like what it's complaining about is that it's a promise of an RPC response, blah, 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 is what it would be. I don't think I need to even do this because I think I can honestly outside of this initialization, I can just start, I can call it directly like this with using my workspace and passing in the token, associated token account. So that was a little bit of a detour, unsuccessful. Okay. Create the associated token accounts. Gotta do it. Seller. Seller X. I'm going to keep, what did I decide? I said we'll keep the seller store and buyer store for now. Kind of silly. But that will at least mint. Now, form state. I don't think I need this at all. Don't think I need this. I don't think there's anything to update with the UI anymore. I don't plan on doing that. This little to-do save send transaction to signature var. This has been the most successful for me. This this little to-do send transaction to signature var, it's been successful for me, following this kind of on the front end, doing this like doing the send transaction and saving it into a signature, then doing this whole get latest block confirm transaction. I know that there's other ways of doing it. This confirm transaction has changed, but I was encountering some errors earlier, and so that's what this to-do is representing. But again, this is I need to remember that this is all just for initializing. So creating the seller token X, token Y, seller, wallet store. Yeah, so basically I'm not changing much of anything. You know what? Well, if this is what I'm doing, then let's just freaking copy it. Console log. Yeah, let's just I'll do this little to do. Let's just do it. So for consistency's sake, so const signature away, and we'll get the wallet store dot send transaction. This is thanks to this package it's got all these in stores, so, and the wallet adapter that allows us to send transactions and sign them and all that stuff. So what do I need? I need the, what does it say? It needs the transaction and the connection and optional options. So the connection, again, that's handy because I've got the connection right here in the workspace store. So yeah, that is that. Let me see. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get rid of this so I can see it better. And then I'll just, rather than doing a whole send transaction in the console log, that will mess things up, because once you send the transaction, it's already been sent, so you already have that hash. So I think this was part of what was causing me causing problems for me in an earlier example. So now const announced. There's a Stack Overflow. I looked into some stuff. There's a new signature for confirmed transaction, which uses block height based transaction confirmation strategy. So, latest. And I think what I saw as an example of just following what it did. So it was a wait, and then connection, and then you have this confirmed transaction. Yeah. And yeah, here's its new signature. And it takes an object with the what do we call it? Latest valid, or no, last valid block height. I think that works. And then signature. Yeah. And then last but not least, console log confirmed transaction. This gives me the confirmed transaction. Ah, I totally forgot. Oh, I'm completely missed that. So this, you know what? The block hash is actually, I made a mistake here. So get latest block hash. Just run that. Now I have the latest block hash. Let's go back over here and change this to confirm TX. There we go. And now that makes sense. Yeah. So the latest block hash will have a block hash and a number for the valid block height. All right. Now we're doing better. And what else do we have? That's it. Okay. So that to do is done. Again, oops. Again, just for consistency's sake, creating all the associated token accounts, the buyer associated token account, the buyer Y associated token account. There are some times when I'm setting the stores, buyer X, and buyer Y. Yeah, so I don't need this out token. I'm gonna remove the out and in token stuff from these buyer and seller stores because I'm trying to get rid of that. I want to separate this whole buyer seller stores and just with the initial setup. So yeah. Yeah. Getting its ATA, that's fine. Signature, confirm all this stuff, and then form state. For now, I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna come up with something else for the form, for tracking the form state, or like with the swap UI. So then creating all of those accounts, goes through it, does it, and then we have the minting X and transferring. Again, this is very redundant. I probably could refactor them, but I don't know. I'm pointing to, I'd have to provide the mint address, sorry, the associated token account, and the wallet, and the amount, and the decimals. Certainly good to add those as parameters to a general function and then do all this. Gonna update XMint store for supply UI. I'm using this get XMint account data, so it gets the stuff for updating the store. So okay, we'll leave that. I believe, yeah, it's setting the store. It's basically after you mint and all that, it's getting the updated data and then sets this token store. Okay, not bad. Yeah, and I'm basically doing the same for the buyer. So yeah, I don't have any, so I'm basically one token account. I'm creating the associated token accounts, but one's going to actually get minted supply and the other is going to be 0. So that's what we're dealing with. And then our Y mint source. So now I have this one mint all tokens and transfer to associated token accounts. Helper just kind of wraps around all these things. Okay. Yada, yada, yada. I think that will do that. So now, if I wanted to, oops. Let's try to just split the screen here. If I wanted to, I wonder if I could just, like underneath this button, even underneath this div, like I wonder if there's like this thing called pre. Not sure. I feel like I've done this before, where like here, if all I did was just display the what would I say? The XMint store, but its value, and then like a break, and then the Y mint store, just to like see this stuff. Expected valid tag name. Oh, what am I doing? Yeah. Need the curly braces. Yeah. Object. Okay. Now, object. Okay. What have I done before? Again, learning. Let's see. This is from the polls. Is this from polls? No, this is Escrow. Polls. Here we go. Index. I feel like I probably at some point use this pre. I think I know where it's at. So polls PDA perhaps. This is my yeah, here it is. Yeah, I knew there's some JSON. I was missing some stuff. Okay, so this pre-tag, and then you can throw some JSON stuff to kind of like display your objects a little bit better. So let me see. What did I do? Pre, and then JSON stringify. Here I could do X mint store, yeah, and then Y mint store. That could work. Get rid of this stuff. Let's see what that. Obviously. Okay, yeah, and so now we see address is null, mint is null, so there's no info because we haven't created anything. I think what I also could do, for the sake of clarity, perhaps, is get. Can I do? I wonder if I could do like xmint. Okay. Just displaying some ugly data. That way I'm not constantly having to look through the logs, but like if I were to replicate that and do for my seller store and buyer store, like again, this is just for initialization. I feel, yeah. Now, obviously they have more data than just those two fields, so this may get a little ugly at first, but we're gonna, the goal is to trim them down. Oh yeah, they got all kinds of nasty stuff. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so this stringify, JSON.stringify, you pass in the value that you're wanting to stringify, and then there's this optional replacer. Guess no. Yeah, there's stuff around it, but it basically it converts an object into JSON, so we can display it easily. Now that I have the this kind of working, let's just see before I modify anything. Let's see. Can I go to create? So what happens? I haven't. It's been a while, but like if I try to create this, yeah. So far so good. It popped up. Oh. Do not know how to serialize a big int at JSON stringify. Oof. And there's another pop-up. Confirmed, but I have this one error here. And I don't think you have, I mean, you have this weird confirmed transaction, but something is up. Let's see. So, X in promise type error. Do not know how to serialize a big int at JSON stringify object update flush JSON stringify. Oh, hang on. Is the big int? Before I investigate too much, let's just double check that it's, let's just do a fresh rebuild and confirm that, like, that's, we're not getting any errors because of that. Okay, so I mean, it renders. I have this wallet, go home, need to make sure I've got some money. Yeah, that's working. So the wallet is connected and has some tokens, or at least has SOL. And now to my escrow program, seller store, it's defaulted to that. Buyer store is defaulted to my other dev wallet. And so everything is like fresh, as it should be. And now if I go over here to create the custom program account, that worked. We have the successful transaction, and yeah, like that's done. Now, let's see if I can create some tokens. This is where I got an error last time. Still getting an error. Okay. Yeah, so creating the token does seem to be causing an error. Confirm transaction, signature, Svelte. Let's see, where am I supposed to be? It wants me, or it's complaining. Well, I mean, I don't know. So like, look, up here, xmint not found. So when I hit create token, xmint is not found. Yeah. Custom program store. Wait a minute. Okay, so this is like the creating that, and then there's another signature where my xmint account data is initialized mint authority supply. Oh, then this is there. Supply in big int. Okay, so perhaps there's something happening with that. So what is that? I'm calling it create. The error. Let's see. Svelte 603. Go there. This one. Xmint store. This is where my JSON is having a problem. This stringify. Let's see. Going to, now that I'm still using these stores, I don't think I've, yeah, nothing's getting through, at least to my stores. So create token X. Yeah. Are these tokens getting created? Initialize mint. So here, just some system. Okay, create custom program. That worked. And initialize mint. And initialize mint. Success. So the minting, initialize mint, is working. So that instruction and stuff is working, but that's work. Let me just double check. So what I will do is I'm going to, jeez. Oh, I missed it. Sorry. Trying to, yeah, this little. I'm going to uncomment my X and Y mint stores for now. I know I'm rendering on the page, but yeah, with the JSON stringify, but I'm curious if anything in the log takes place. Okay. And you know while I'm at it, oh, I already have the custom program there. Okay, so let's restart one more time. That's another thing too, like when dealing with the front end, when you move all this stuff to the front end, man, it's a whole nother beast. Like you're kind of excited, like, yeah, cool, I learned some, how to write a basic Solana program. But then, and he even wrote some tests for it, and you're like, yay. But then when you bring it all over to the front end and try to wire it up with the wallet adapters and yeah, it's a whole new beast. So I should be able to get some tokens. And then I should be able to create the account. That was successful. I now have my custom program with its PDA and all of its data. Okay. Yeah, so far so good. But now I want to create tokens. And I'm trying to understand, why is this failing? So I'm having, and I have another approve, so 2 approvals. So it's like creating token X and creating token Y. It's just a simple create instructions. And yet, and look at this, actually, my XMint token store, it has an address. So it has the mint address. And then it also has the mint details, data. The decimals is initialized, the authority, yada, yada, yada. So it's as if, it's like as if this JSON stringify is on my store. I mean, and that's what it's saying. Do not know how to serialize a big int at JSON stringify. The hell? So, do not know how to serialize. Good old Stack Overflow, Is it a TypeScript thing? Oh, you have to use a key. Lordy. Okay. So yeah, it is a JSON thing. It's basically saying if I am dealing with big int, does know how to serialize it. Okay. Let's see if I can use this whole. Maybe this is the replacer part. Key value. This gets interesting. And then type of the value equals big int. Oh, I see. It's actually just an arrow function, so I don't need to do a big block. Let's see. So type of value equals big int. Question mark. Well, you know, like if so, then let's return value dot to string. Yeah. Otherwise, or no, otherwise, just return the value. Let's see if that works. No idea. We're gonna see. Let me refresh. And I don't know. What is this? Let me see. K is declared, but never. Oh yeah. I don't know. Let's. I'm curious. Always something to learn. 学无止境. So yeah, I got some Chinese. Chinese, like always something. The learning has no boundaries. 学无止境. Basically, you're always going to learn something. Always something to learn. And sure as hell applies in development. So let's see. Anchor build. And let's get our logs going again. Because, so the logs are helpful because it shows that like actually the transaction's going through and confirming. This whole error that I'm encountering is a something to do with trying to use this JSON stringify. I am not going to mess with this much because this is not the point. Again, I'm trying to not going to get wrapped up in this, but I am curious if this does anything for me, and if so, you know, before I actually do anything, I'm going to just copy this and do the same for my alignment, just in case. If it works, yay. Formatting is a mess, but oh well. All right, so let's see. Create the custom program. We have some money, right? I think I did it. Yeah, got SOL in the wallet. So now let's create the create the tokens. Yeah. No error. Scroll down. Look at that. X Mint Store. Wow. Okay. Super cool. Super cool. And yeah, Super cool. Okay, and now I got to approve the other transaction to create the Y token. And yeah, that's neat. And yeah, look at this. It's showing part of my little visual. Now that these accounts exist. Yeah, so that was a nice little bit of learning. So now we can continue on. Now, say next is creating the associated token accounts. Let's see how bad this blows up for us. Now, I definitely need to clean up all these fields. I'm going to get rid of all this out end token stuff because I'm going to leave these seller buyer stores specifically just for initializing stuff. So let's try to create the associate tokens. Hey. What happened? Oh, have a transaction approve. I'm getting some approvals popping up, and it looks like everything. Yeah, so I had to just approve 4 different transactions, and sure enough, we've got some of these details. Look, X token ATA for the seller, Y token ATA for the seller. Like all these little accounts are coming in for the buyer. Oh, I forgot to get rid of this part. He doesn't need the end token. But yeah, so we're starting to look pretty good. Now, the minting token part, let's see if this still works. So, hey, let's see. Oh, another pop-up window. And yeah, boom, nice. So, really good. That is encouraging. Obviously, next step is I need to clean up these seller and buyer store objects. Really trim them down. They don't need all this crap. Because I'm going to try using a general user store object. So, looking good. Yeah. So, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do next.